Hey, Reese's Pieces.
Well, hey, Reese's Pieces. Happy Thursday. So, real quick, I just came in, had a long day today, just came in from meetings and stuff like that. And a lot of you have asked me to share my recipes for the different stuff that I make. And I'm about to make my chicken and my chicken broth. Now, I've showed you all before, but this is in detail. I'm going to add an extra ingredient to it. Okay. It's one of those days where it was really warm yesterday, but today the temperature dropped, and this is a good day for some soup. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to put in my soup, and I'll show you how I make my broth. So let's go. Okay, Reese's Pieces. Now, this is my base of my veggies for my soup. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that probably nobody else uses, but I'm going to tell you it makes your soup so good and creamy. If you want a creamy consistency of chicken soup, which is what we like. We do like a brothy one as well, but if you want a creamy one, just kind of a little chunky and creamy, this is good. So I have a half of an extra large onion. If it wasn't extra large, I would have used a whole medium onion, right? But you want a good amount of onion. So this is half of an extra large one. My secret ingredient, guys, is these potatoes. Chopped up potatoes. When you put potatoes in chicken soup, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Normally you'll see in chicken soup, you'll just see, carrots, onions, like what I've got here. I've got some kale here. I have carrots and celery. And usually that's what you see in a chicken noodle. Also on the side here, I got a little bit of cabbage there. And guys, I don't know if you remember, but I made a gumbo with cabbage the other day, and that was some of the leftover cabbage. So I put that in there. So this is going to be the base of my veggies. This is my broth. This is what's going to go in my broth. That's the carcass of the chicken. That is some carrots that are unpeeled. You don't need to peel the carrots. We have unpeeled celery, and we have that other half of that onion, and it still has the stalk on it. You don't need to remove any of that when you're making the stock. And making a broth. So I'm telling you guys, when you leave the skin on the veggies and let it boil, it is amazing. We do not want to put potatoes in this though. This is a basic chicken broth, and that's all you need. And of course, I'll show you the seasonings that I put in both of these later. And here is the chicken that I pulled off of the rotisserie chicken. And guys, this is the rotisserie chicken that I use. It's the Kirkland Costco brand. Y'all, this is the best rotisserie chicken of any store that I have ever been to. And I have shopped at all kinds of stores. I've shopped at Publix. I've shopped at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Kroger, Thriftway. Some of y'all have Thriftway, some of y'all don't. Walmart, Meijer. This is the best. That is the best. So let's get these veggies and stuff going. We saute this first. The kale comes in later, but all the heavier vegetables are sauteed first. And I'll show you my seasonings for these. And then we'll get these in just some water and a little bit of seasoning. We don't need a whole lot of seasoning for the chicken broth. We want a good, clean broth. But I might put a little salt in there, a little pepper, and that's it. We don't need nothing extra. And then we have our chicken. So let's go.
We'll make sure we meet all those regulations before we start that. But y'all can see I came in here and put some marks here. I put a mark there for a stud to go. Actually, it's a circle. So I want to circle these are my main studs here. And I need to make sure that those fall in the proper place. Because the way that we're going to do it, and y'all can kind of see over here, that's what kind of makes my frame look a little bit funny. Because as you can see, I'm 16 on center all the way up to the right that's gonna give it a staggered or kind of a brick pattern, and then in our mind, that's gonna add to the rest of the meal. Instead of going full board, and then picking it up, you'll have that line.
All right, guys, so this is this size pot. This is one of my largest pots, and the water is about half full of this large pot because this will make a lot of chicken broth. Take my word for it. You let it simmer for a while. It is now like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I probably will not cut this off until maybe 8. Yep, and it'll make the perfect amount of broth. So now in this pot, I'm going to saute these veggies and get them going. Okay, guys, I have the holy grail, if you will, doing this thing, sauteing here and break it down. Once I have to get real translucent. You guys hear, in the background, you hear, I'm watching IG Farms. I watch IG Farms when I'm cooking. Anywho, we got that going. And this is the seasoning that's going to go in. We got some coarse salt. We got black pepper. We got thyme. We got basil. We got rosemary. We got some salt-free seasoning. And we got some garlic. And that is all that is going in this soup. And nothing else is needed. All right, all of my seasonings are incorporated. And y'all, this smells amazing. Amazing. By the way, I used olive oil for my base. All right, so my veggies have gotten to where I want them. I don't want them too overcooked because I like a little crunch and little texture when I'm eating my soup. I don't like it salty, so that is perfect. So now I'm going to take some water and we're going to deglaze. All right, that made it quiet, didn't it? So now we are deglazing with that water, and I'm gonna let it cook just a little bit longer. And then what I'm also gonna add right now too is I have a can of chicken broth here. Let you see that? A can of chicken broth, and I'm gonna add that in here along with the water. Now, I like this brand because it's all natural. It doesn't have a lot of sodium in it. I prefer my own chicken broth, which is time for me to make some more chicken broth. I was out of my own chicken broth. Okay, so I'm going to put the top on here, and I'm going to let this come to a boil. All right, guys, this pot has come to a boil, a slow simmer boil, and this is where we're going to go ahead and drop in this carcass. And put everything else in here. The veggies, the onions, the carrots. And see all that extra skin? That's gonna make an amazing broth. Yep. So in here, I'm gonna put a little pepper. Open this, see if I can open this pepper. Sorry guys, I had to move you. Just a little bit. I like to season my broth. So this is going to be a great broth, I can already tell. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of this coarse salt. That's it. About a spoonful. Well, maybe more than one spoonful. Well, because it keeps coming off the spoon. All right. And mix that around a little bit. And that's it. That's it, guys. So this is going to simmer for a while. This is going to be the perfect broth. This is still coming to a boil. As a matter of fact, I think it's where it needs to be now. So now we can add the rest of we can add the chicken. There's the chicken. We can add the potatoes and the kale and the cabbage. Now, there's one more thing we're going to add in here because my daughter likes it. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get this whole thing up. It's backwards, but we're going to put all of this in here: the potatoes, the kale, and the cabbage. Let me come back, y'all. Okay, so the kale is in there. You see that cabbage. The potatoes are in there, and that chicken. Guys, look how pretty that is. It's pretty and it tastes good. Oh my word. This is gonna be so good. Oh my goodness. This is probably gonna be one of the best I've made. And the great thing about people are like, why do you put potatoes in your chicken soup? That's like a vegetable soup. No, it's not. Because I only use a very small potato to put in here. What it does is, right now it's very brothy, and it's gonna just make it a little bit creamy. The potatoes will stay intact, but that starch is gonna release, and it's gonna make it really just a little bit creamier, make it a little more hearty. All right, guys. So now I'm gonna put the top back on here, and I'm gonna turn this down to like number 6, and let that simmer. This is gonna simmer for a minute. I'm gonna eventually turn it down to like 2. But I'm gonna let this cook right now on 6 until it's time for dinner. And I'll show you guys the end result. I almost forgot. Remember I told y'all I have one more item I'm gonna put in here that my daughter loves, and that is this Barilla pasta, the Celentini. We're gonna put this in, these little squiggly noodles, just a few. Just a few. We don't need it for a lot, because we already got a lot in here. That's it. That is it. That is enough. Last time we did this, I did bow tie noodles. And yeah, so these are gonna make it come out so good. I used those the other day when I made my mac and cheese and my chicken and my green beans. And I had those left over. Okay, now we're gonna let that simmer, and it's gonna be ready for dinner. And this is the end result, guys. Oh my word, y'all, this soup is so good. I think this is the best chicken soup I've made thus far. So, so good. Adding those noodles in there really didn't make a difference. See how they kind of, only used a little bit, see? Because they plump up. So it was plenty of noodles. That kale, those potatoes, the onions, the carrots, the celery. Oh my goodness, the seasoning, yeah. All right, guys, have the most amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.